also known as the sparkly one. Today I'm going to be showing you a new boot cuff. This one is a cabled crochet, which looks like knitting, so I thought it was really cool, and it's fairly easy to make. So if you've made anything before, you'll be able to do this. If you're a beginner, I think it's going to be a little more difficult. And if you are a beginner, then I do have these videos right here that are more geared for a beginner. There's a pot holder and another boot cuff. Grab your yarn, grab your hook, and let's get started. The stitch that we're going to be using today is a cable stitch. Look how pretty that is. And it's very stretchy, so I think that it will fit a variety of sizes. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with a half double crochet base on the bottom here, and then we're going to work our way up to the cable. I'm going to be using a size I or a 5.5 millimeter hook. I'm using this yarn, which I got at the 99-cent store years ago, and it's just a knitting yarn, and it's a polyester, but it doesn't tell you what size it is, and I believe it's probably around a size 3 weight. So it's not a 4 definitely, because it's a little bit thinner. So I'm going to be using that, and what you're going to do is each cable pattern is approximately, or it is 10 stitches across. So I have 4 cables, that means I need 40 stitches. So let's go ahead and get started. And I'll leave that in the background for you to see. And what I like to do is start out with a foundation chain. I don't like to chain across and do a standard chain. Like normally you would chain, 40 plus 2. So I'm just going to be working the base in one motion. And I also have another video on a boot cuff, and it does show the more detailed version of what I'm going to show you. So I'm not going to stop and do a huge tutorial for the beginner, but I will just keep going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 3, yarn over. I'm going to go into this right next to the knot. I'm going to put my hook through. I'm going to have 2 strands over that. Yarn over, pull through 1, pull through 3. Yarn over, go into this foundation right here. Put 2 on the top, yarn over, pull through 1, pull through 3. Now this is starting to make our base of the half double crochet foundation, so we can go ahead and start our cables. So this will take a little bit of time, so if you need to stop and rewind it, go ahead, or you can watch my other video, which I'll put up here in the little right hand corner of the screen, and you can see a little bit more detailed of what I will be doing as far as the foundation chains and half double crochets. So see, we're starting to do that all in one piece. It's so much easier than to chain and work back into those chains. Go ahead and make 40 of these stitches, and I'll meet you back here when I am finished. So I have 40 half double crochet, and what I'll do at this point is that you'll need to, this is the top of your work. I'm just going to flip it over to the back, flip it over to the back, keep it straight so it doesn't twist, and you'll have a strand right here and a strand here. So that's the tail, and this is your yarn on your hook. Then all you're going to do, sorry about the little snag, is go underneath that stitch right there on the end, yarn over, pull through again. So you're doing a slip stitch. Then you're just going to flip it and bring that to the front, and then we'll weave this part in after we're all finished. So this is our base to start our cable. and we're going to be working in the round. So you're going to chain 2, and then you're going to be working, okay, so you're going to be working in the post. So this is your post, that is your, each one of these is a post. You're going to be working in the back post, yarn over as a half double crochet. So you had your chain, and then you had your back post half double crochet. Now you're gonna front post half double crochet in the next 2 stitches. So you're gonna start this pattern. This right here is your chain 2, and this is gonna be your first back post half double crochet, your second one, then you have 2 in the front, and then 2 more in the back. So you're going to be working 6 stitches like that as a front post, back post. Whoops, got stuck. So your back post half double crochet in the next 2. So there we're starting our little pattern, which will end up looking like this right here. So you're gonna have 2 back posts, 2 front posts, 2 back posts, and then we're gonna do the cable, and then we'll start it over. Okay, so right now what you're gonna do is you're going to do a section of 4 stitches. So do you see these 4 stitches right here? So you're gonna actually do a treble crochet into the 3rd out of that 4 right there. You're going to do it into this 3rd post right there. So you're going to do a front post into that with the treble crochet, just like that. Then you're going to work into this next post right there, another treble crochet, front post. We're making the cable. Whoops, it just snagged. Redo. That happens. Okay, treble into that one right there. Yarn over twice and pull through 2. Then what you're going to do is you're going to be working in the first 2 that you skipped. So you're going to yarn over twice for your treble. So yarn over, you're going back into this first one that you skipped. Keep your tension a little snug so you don't have funny looking loops. Yarn over twice, work into that stitch right there, which would be your second one that you skipped. There you go. So here, this is your first cable. So this is what you're making right here. So again, you're going to start that pattern over. You'll be doing a half double crochet into the next post and pull through 3. You're going to do that in the next 2 stitches, that one and this one. Then you're going to do 2 front. And remember, these are half double crochets. The only time you're going to be doing a treble crochet is when you're making the cable. Then you're going to do a half double in the back, the next 2. And it's pretty easy to do. Your pattern will always look the same because you're just doing a repeat. So I just repeated this part right here over here. Now comes the treble crochet, and remember you're going to skip 2 and go into the 3rd stitch right there as a treble crochet. Whoops, there you go. Again, yarn over twice, go into that next stitch, treble. Then the 2 that you skipped right here, remember you're going to be working backwards, and you go into the first one, treble, And then you got to find that one that right here, number 2 that you skipped, yarn over, go through the front post. There's a treble, just like that. So now you've made 2. So go ahead and finish around your boot cuff, and then I'll meet you back here and I'll show you the next row. I'm at the last 4 stitches, and I think it might be a little bit easier for most people if you go ahead and weave in that end first before you start your next row, or even before you finish the next row. So all you'll do is get your eye hook or your eye needle, whatever you want to call it, your yarn needle, and then you're going to go through those 2 bottom stitches right there, and what you'll do is you'll just secure it and weave it in to the base. Because I think if you don't do that, now that I'm looking at it, for a beginner or someone who's not really familiar with crochet, then it would be a little bit hard to see how to do that. So just weave it in the best you can on the other side. Don't let your yarn slip out. There we go. Tighten it up and cut off that end. And then what I like to do is just stretch it out just a little bit to kind of get it to go in there. And that's on the inside, you won't see it. So now you gotta find your stitch. And what you'll have, oh, there's a little fuzzy thing. Get that out of my way. What you'll have left are these last 4 stitches to finish your cable. So now you're going to yarn over twice. You're going to do your last set right into here, which would be stitch number 3. Oops, there we go. This is your treble crochet. You're going to do it into that 4th stitch right here. And I hope you guys are having a great day. I know here in California where I live, it's very warm today, but I know across the country there are a lot of crazy weather patterns. So I just hope that you're enjoying your day. It's a great day to crochet, I'd say, if you're inside and it's chilly outside. Okay, so I'm yarning over, I'm going into this last stitch right here with my treble crochet. So now I've reached the end, and I will just go ahead and join into the top of this chain 2 at the beginning and slip stitch. So there's your first row of cables. So what you'll do for the next row is you're going to chain 2 again. So at the beginning of each row, you're always going to be chaining 2, and it's always going to count as your first half double crochet. So then wherever you have a back post, you're going to crochet into the back post. And wherever you have a front post, you will crochet into the front post. Whoops, that's a half double, another half double. So hopefully you have the hang of it by now, and you're always going to go into the front or the back, depending on what it is. There we go. But the important thing for this next row here is that we have our cable stitches that cross over like that. It's just like an X. But what you're going to do on the next 2 rows is that you're going to do half double crochets across. Instead of where we did the treble crochet on the base part, you're going to be doing a half double in the middle. So just let me show you on this one. So these right here where they crisscross are the trebles, and then in between these two rows are half doubles. So as you can see, it just makes that really nice twisted pattern. So for the next two rows, on top of this, you're going to do the half doubles in the front. So you're going to go around that post, pick it up, half double. Around, find that one underneath, front post, half double. This one's on the front, of course, so it's easy to see. And that's a half double. And this one is a half double. And then, of course, these are on the back right here. So you'll do a half double in the back on the next two. And then on the front for the next two. And then on the back for the next two. So it should be fairly easy as long as you've crocheted a little bit in your life and have a little bit of experience. This one, you'll have to find it. It's in the back, but those 4 over the cable are always going to be on the front. Right there. So just let me show you real quick what we're making. So there you go. Can you see that pattern starting to happen? So you'll finish this row, you'll do another row. I'll meet you back after that second row is finished. I'm at the end of row 4. I'm going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 2, and that ends it right there. Now for this next row, you're going to chain 2, yarn over, and you're going to still do the same half double crochet in those next stitches where you're doing the front post and the back post. And there's the back post, and what you're going to do is start those cables over again. So you're going to yarn over twice for your treble crochet. You have those 4 stitches. You're going to go into the 3rd stitch as a front post. Do your treble crochet. Yarn over another treble crochet. Again, you're going to work backwards and go into the first 2. And then your last one right here is that second one. Treble into that. A little sticky, whoops, sorry about that. Redo. Go into that one, the second one. And see where it's starting to cross over? And then go into the next stitch as a half double back post, the next 2. This yarn's a little bit fuzzy. Yarn over in the front, and I'll meet you around at the end of the row. I'm at the end of that row. I'm going to slip stitch into the top. And then again, we're just going to repeat that same pattern where you did the 2 rows of half double crochets in between the cables. So you just keep working that pattern back and forth. You might have to go over the video a couple times just to learn the technique, but once you get the hang of it, I don't think it's going to be a problem at all. So go ahead and finish that. I worked up on this particular one, like here's the twist. You can make it as long or as short as you want. So whatever you feel you want the length to be is what you'll do. So you can do 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, at least 4. I did 5.5 kind of. So this part, whichever part you want peeking out the top, you can turn it upside down too. And wherever you want more cables to show out of the top would be perfect. So just do whatever you think is good as far as the length of the boot cuff. If you have a bigger boot, you might want to do it longer so it can go down lower into your part where you zip up the boot, so it'll fill it up more so it won't be so loose. Or if you have a tight boot, you might just want to do a smaller one where it will stick out the top. So let's go ahead and finish the boot cuff, and I will show you both of those and what they look like in the boots. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'm just now finishing up the second boot cuff, and what I'm going to do is end it with a single crochet across the top. You're going to just chain 1, and you're going to single crochet in each of the stitches around, and then you're going to join with a slip stitch at the end, and then you'll fasten it off, and then you'll be all finished and you'll be able to wear your really pretty boot cuffs. Let's see what they look like when they're on. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Thank you for joining me. See you next time. God bless.